Are you ready?
A Shot of Wrestling, episode 250. And away we go.
Break some damn shot, boy. Is that the message you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot. Oh, so take a shot. Oh, yeah. I'm a street breaker. I'm a heartbreaker. This is my yard. I'm a mold breaker. Rick Flair, Nature Boy, about to seek and destroy. It's an SOW. Let me hear you make noise. Take a shot, boy. Is that the message you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 250 of A Shot of Wrestling. I'm your host at Michael J. Potty, joined, as always, Mark Schwann. Marcus, what's going on?
Whoa. Let me just do myself so it spares me the aggravation. Ladies and gentlemen, it is me.
I found out I could turn Mark's audio off without losing my audio, so this is fantastic. Let's wait for him to finish. And I think he's wrapping up. Great, Mark. Good job this week.
Wait, what did you just do?
Nothing, Mark. I was clearing my throat. Great intro, as always, Mark. Always hit it out of the park. How's your week, Mark? How you been?
Did you mute me?
I don't know what you're talking about, Mark. We have the one with the show. Come on, getting late. How was your week, Mark?
Pretty good. Actually, spent some time with the wife. She was off from work this whole week, so.
Oh yeah, vacation.
That was nice.
That's good. You guys do anything?
Yeah.
You guys get out of the house
No.
and do anything? If there's anything to do?
No. Because she's fully vaccinated. I'm not. Also, the weather kind of sucked.
Sure.
So.
Did I read right? You got an appointment though?
I do have an appointment
For one.
April 19th. I cannot wait. I'm going to get the Pfizer one.
Okay, that's what I got. I'm getting
So
my
by
second one this Thursday. So
sweet. Block out time for the next day.
hopefully, man. Hopefully, I'm worried about that because a lot of people got sick, but then I hear a lot of people don't. It depends. I didn't get a reaction on the first one.
Well, apparently older people don't really get so much of a reaction to second shot. So you're basically an 85-year-old man, so you might be fine.
On the inside, I am. Yeah,
Yeah. So you'll be fine.
I think so. I'll be fine. But I also found out interesting that after the first dose, we're 80-something% protected.
Right.
So I felt a little more easier, could breathe a little easier knowing, because I didn't know that at the time. Almost there, Mark. Almost there.
A friend of mine brought up, he got vaccinated today, and he brought up that stat, and he said he might not even go for the second one. He's like, why should I even bother to go for the second one if I'm going to go through all that shit? Only be 95%, effective. I'm already 87 or whatever it is. Because I don't know about that.
It's not a bad idea, but everyone with a science degree is telling you not to do that. So I'm going to listen to them.
Right, exactly. I love how people don't listen to the experts.
No, they don't. Everyone's their own expert now.
Right, exactly.
Okay, whatever, bro.
I'm not going to listen to what the mainstream media says. I'm going to follow my gut.
Damn
my
right.
gut's never wrong.
Why listen to doctors and scientists when Trump says not to do it? And
Exactly.
Trump knows everything.
He does.
I'll stop there before I get too political, Mark. Go all night.
Go fuck yourself.
You know what happened to me this week, Mark? Thanks for asking about my week, Dick.
Because I don't care. I don't know how many times I have to get over this, but
Let me press that button again. So, a couple months ago, I mentioned how I am behind on Total Bellas.
okay.
So a couple months ago, I started chipping away at it. Well, within 48 hours, I watched 14 episodes of Total Bellas.
Ow. That's a lot of Total Bellas.
So I watched them find out they were pregnant, their pregnancies,
Right.
had the babies, and the aftermath, all within the span of 48 hours.
Damn, bro.
Oh.
Did you move in too?
What am I? I forgot how great pregnant Bree's boobs are. Oh, man. That too pervy?
You are such a perv.
How's that pervy?
Yeah, problems.
Pregnant women are beautiful.
That's perfect.
Pregnant women are
Yeah,
beautiful.
I mean,
Mark.
they are
In
beautiful,
all
but
forms
like
and shapes and sizes. So you're being a little sexist machismoist here. So I'm
the
just
way you
appreciating
said that.
You know what's pervy, Mark? You know what's pervy? I don't know if you noticed this because I did because I'm a perv.
Okay, Matt Gates, what's up?
When they did the testimonials, the diary room sessions, the Bellas, when they were talking to the camera, there's a camera from the side zoomed right on their boobs. You notice this?
It's okay.
It was
So it's
supposed to be
weird.
It was supposed to be their stomach, but it was like too high.
I've noticed some of this
What is
stuff,
that?
like especially with like Nikki Bella, like they're obsessed with their boobs.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
they do these weird zoom-ins.
It was still weird. I never saw that before until they were pregnant in the last season, I guess it was. I'm like, damn, that's fucking weird. A little too creepy for me, and I'm a creep.
You're very creepy. I feel like I need a shower after this discussion.
I just took one before, so I'm good.
Ugh.
You ever like not feel too great, really tired, feeling like it's blah? And you take like a nice hot shower and you just like you zone out and don't want to get out?
Yeah. No, I've been there before.
It happened to me tonight. I was like, I just got in the shower and I think I know it was like 20 minutes went by. I'm like, what the fuck have I been doing? But that's not going to happen now. So how about we move on and get into the news?
Awesome. Let's do it up.
It's time for In the News with Michael J. Putty and Mark Schwab.
The news. Let's go.
Jesus Christ, buddy. You're so mean.
Where's that button again?
The what?
What? How about the news, Mark? What's in time here? Dead air. Dead air, Mark. Let's go.
Oh, we're on. I didn't even know we're on. You can tell me at least.
I said news. Let's go.
So, in the news.
Don't yell. Don't yell, please.
It looks like the Hurt Business is officially over. Okay. Do you want to do this news? You want to how about you do the news?
So I've been in the news for 200 episodes. I think they did no break.
Okay. So it looks like the Hurt Business is officially over. This past week on Raw, we saw I'm sorry, I can't even speak because you threw me off, buddy. You threw me off.
My good looks. Appreciate it.
Disgusting looks. So the Hurt Business, they're over. This past week on Raw, we saw the faction come to an end. It's being reported that this was a decision made by Vince McMahon and Vince McMahon alone. Even with MVP and Bobby Lashley pleading not to split them up, Vince was not budging at all. If anything, he doubled down. Why do you think Vince was so adamant about breaking up the Hurt Business, buddy?
I agree with Dave Bautista. I don't like it. I'm a fan of the Hurt Business. I said a couple weeks ago when they were teasing it. Too early to break them up. They're the best thing going on in the mid-card of Raw. But I get it. Because you don't, like, when Bobby Lashley won, or was going to win, and won eventually, online, Mark, you read, everyone's happy about Bobby Lashley. Finally, Bobby Lashley gets the title. He deserves it. So now, you run the risk of people cheering him in front of a live crowd for the first time in over a year. Everyone loves the Hurt Business, bro. He breaks them up, more heat on him, I guess. That's my thought. Just to give more heat and a better chance of them booing him than cheering him in front of a live crowd.
But at the same time, I mean, Drew McIntyre is over. You know, Drew McIntyre's doing a good job chasing for the title again. You
even said yourself, you were worried about what happens when he gets up in front of a live crowd.
Right. That's when he was on top with the championship. But now he's chasing again. Like, everyone loves to chase. Everyone loves the journey. You know, you can get behind someone for that. It's like what WWE, the creative, what they do when they get the championship, when they're on top, it seems like they flounder a little bit. That's at least from my observation. Now, with Bobby Lashley, with the Hurt Business, they were still obviously doing heel things. What is that?
Oh, I'm on Bumble. I'm not paying attention to what you're talking about.
Are we doing this show or not? I feel like I'm wasting my time right now. I'll just sign off.
What are you saying, Mark?
It's a Friday night. It's Friday night, 11:45 at night, man.
Where's that button?
I got better things to do with my life.
Do you, though?
I do.
You just said you didn't do anything for a week off.
Oh, I did a lot in a week off. I just,
Bobby Lashley, come on, let's go. Move on. Come on. Past my bedtime.
All right. So with this, I mean, the Hurt Business, they're just still doing, like, heel things here. And obviously, like, right before WrestleMania, you split them up. And when you can easily keep Bobby Lashley as the champion, would have the Hurt Business interfering and still having that heel reaction, from the fans. It's just like, it just really doesn't make sense to me with this. But you're right. I mean, that could be a reason why Vince McMahon is trying to do what he's doing, splitting them up. That could be a reason behind it. The fear of being in front of a live crowd for the first time and not getting the reaction that you want.
They've been controlling it for a year now, so now it's the first time. Who knows? And because people were getting behind Bobby Lashley, and now this happens.
Right.
Do you hear what MVP said, though? Doesn't mean the Hurt Business is over. Just those two are out. Do you think that might add more people later on?
I mean, that's MVP talking, but like at the end of the day, obviously that goes through Vince McMahon. It seems like Vince McMahon's honestly not a fan of factions. Like he just, they don't last long at all when they try to do it up. I think the only one that really lasted was Undisputed Era, but that's NXT. That's under Triple H.
So Tony Khan is the anti-Vince McMahon, huh?
Seems like it.
That guy loves factions.
We'll talk about that later. Moving on, though, Texas Rangers have announced that they will have fans in the stadiums at full capacity.
The Rangers, they're not going to be full capacity.
But Roger Goodell also followed suit, saying that he expects the same for the 2021 season for the NFL. That's coming in September. How soon do you think we'll expect to see an announcement made from Vince McMahon and WWE about the same thing, full capacity in wrestling?
I don't see it happening this year. We talk about this. It seems like this topic comes up every couple of weeks.
It does come up every couple of weeks, but things do change quite a bit.
I wasn't knocking that story. I'm saying things do change, but it seems like every couple of weeks something new pops up, and we have to talk about like what if. And those are big announcements from the MLB and NHL, NFL.
Huge.
I just don't see it happening. It's not like the WWE is losing money here. They're still making money hand over fist. So they don't need the money from the gates or the merchandising stands. They're not desperate for crowd income.
But they want it.
Oh,
here's the thing. They want it. The wrestlers speak about it. I'm sure Vince McMahon wants to have it back. I know the fans, they want it back. We all want to go back to normal here.
We all want it back. I'm not saying we don't want it back. I just don't see it happening this year. Maybe. I always said SummerSlam. For last year, I've been saying SummerSlam. Maybe things will come back during SummerSlam. See how WrestleMania goes. I think there will be a crowd for SummerSlam. But as for like a full packed stadium, I do not see that happening in 2021.
I don't know, man. Well, I mean, here's the thing. The difference is with MLB, that's outdoors. For the most part, the NFL stadiums, they're outdoors. Yeah. I don't know, man. I think WrestleMania is kind of like a tryout.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I think they're all viewing it as. And if it's successful, I actually think that they're going to slowly start building it up more. I disagree with you, Putty. I think before the year ends, I think we're going to see full capacity for WWE at least, or maybe even AEW and other wrestling promotions. I think once WWE does something, I think the rest are going to follow suit.
Again, by sold out, you mean like fully packed? Every seat has ass in the seat.
They're going to. It's not necessarily that's going to happen. I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be a little precocious going back, but I think if anything, they'll be open to it. Be like, hey, everyone can come back full capacity. Not to say that they will get it, but they'll allow for it.
Now people are talking about. I know there's people in the stadiums for MSG, Barclays Center here in New York City. Basketball and hockey are allowing people in, and they're talking more about this vaccine passport.
Right. But then you also hear in Florida that they're going to ban that altogether.
Fucking Florida's fucking stupid. No offense to our people in Florida, but
But I mean, that's a big deal because look what's in Florida. You have WWE, and you have AEW.
Yeah, but if they do this vaccine passport, like nationwide in the smart states, I think we'll see more of a crowd. But I just don't see a fully packed, sold out AT&T Center or American Airlines Arena anytime this in 2021.
Now, the Texas Rangers, are there restrictions or there's no masks or anything, right? Or
in Texas, I'm not too sure about what's going on in Texas. I think there's no mask. I'm sorry, you're right. Texas opened up everything. No masks.
Open up everything, right?
100% open. Do what you got to do.
No, that's Texas itself, but I'm talking from the Texas Rangers. That's different.
Organization itself, I'm not too sure what their procedures are.
Now, NFL, I feel like details weren't released yet about that, but I have a feeling that it's going to come down to proving vaccine that you got vaccinated.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's what it's going to come down to because then they avoid all those liability issues. Maybe WWE follows suit with that. I don't know. I think some points this year we're going to see full capacity, or at least WWE saying, "Hey, we're going to allow full capacity back here." But I think it's going to be gradual. It's going to be gradual.
Even Mario Cuomo said, our governor, during the Bills playoff game.
Andrew Cuomo, you mean? Not Mario Cuomo.
Oh, yeah, I keep doing that too, right? It's fucking payback, backlash all over again. Fastlane. I keep did it again. Oh, my God. Too many shots of wrestling. Andrew Cuomo, thank you, said that the Bills playoff game was a tryout for next season.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't sold out. I think it was half full, maybe 1/3 full. So it's possible to do, but again, that's outside. I don't see WWE doing an indoor sold-out stadium again anytime soon. They want to, yes.
Well,
but I don't see.
I'm willing to bet money on this one. Actually, I think it's going to happen.
Okay, let's do this.
Because let's remember when Donald Trump was president. He had a task force for sports, and it was like Roger Goodell was in there. I know there were plenty of other commissioners that were involved in there, but you also had Vince McMahon part of it too. So obviously they've been working together, talking with each other. So the fact is that we're hearing more and more stuff about this from other commissioners. You have to think that Vince McMahon's in the mix, talking about it, and having his ear down to the ground. He's a businessman, so he's going to do what's best for his company, what's best for business. And I think, if anything, Vince McMahon wants to get things going again.
You hear about UFC on April 24th?
No. What about it? I don't follow UFC. That's why.
Neither do I. But I found out watching Impact this week that Rebellion is moved from the 24th now Sunday the 25th. So I googled why. What happened? I'd rather not be on a Saturday so I can relax and maybe have people over because we'll be fully vaccinated by then. But they're going against UFC, big UFC night that night, and fans are going to be back in the stadium for UFC. So I'm not sure what their procedures are, how many people they're allowing in. That's another organization to follow closely and see what they do. They have they have a thing every 2 weeks, I think. So
yeah, I mean things are getting better, man. More and more people are getting vaccinated. I think I think we may have somewhat of a normal summer. Yes. That's at least what I'm seeing here. So
and we had a pretty good summer. We had a pretty good summer last year because everyone's outside. Then of course, we had to shut down in the winter again. But now we have vaccines. Everything's moving in the right direction. So I'm hoping you're right, Mark. Hopefully, we have a good summer this year.
I'm down for it. Moving on to news. Chris Jericho is going to be the next guest on Stone Cold's Broken Skull Sessions. This being promoted on WWE Network's social media and will be aired on Peacock. I find that to be a pretty big deal. What do you make of this, though, Putty? Could this be another Forbidden Door opening?
Who cares?
Why? Why do you say that?
No, I'm just kidding. Everybody, this is fucking amazing. And I don't know how you felt about this, but I just felt myself like I'm such a fucking idiot, like I always do. I'm like, well, this might have been pre-taped before AEW. Part of me thought like AEW's happened like a couple months ago. I forgot AEW's been around for almost a year and a half now. Right. So we heard how it came about. They were texting each other. He texts Vince. Austin texts Vince twice because Vince doesn't pay attention. He said, "Do it." I think this is a huge deal. And
no, Vince said yes at first.
Yeah.
And Stone Cold wanted to double check. Are you sure?
Yeah. We talked about this when this first Impact AEW thing happened back in December. Triple H always says we're open for business,
and he said the same thing again about this.
So yeah, exactly. So
doors always open.
Double it down. This proves him right. I mean, Chris Jericho is Chris Jericho. It's not going to get anybody from AEW. It's Chris fucking Jericho. Right. He has a lot of stories to tell. Stone Cold. I love watching Stone Cold's interviews. He's a great interviewer. He gets
fantastic. Did you see the one with Randy Orton?
I started watching it. Some came up. I didn't finish it, but I want to watch the rest of it.
Oh, dude, it was like a masterclass. It was fantastic.
And even I love his talk show on USA. He's straight up Steve Austin. He just has a way to get people to tell stories that I don't see too many people do.
My wife and I were talking about too. He's got a certain style that makes you feel relaxed. Yeah. And so Randy Orton was talking about a lot of things he doesn't normally talk about. So did Undertaker. So do a lot of people. He's just got that way about it, just to get it out.
Yeah, I don't think it was a big surprise. Undertaker's first real interview out of kayfabe was with Stone Cold. I mean, right? Who else? Now, of course, everyone's wondering. We talk about AEW, the big elephant in the room. I think he has to.
He has to, right?
I do not. And I don't think Stone Cold's afraid to go there.
He's not. Because at the end of the day, he's going to be like, what are you going to do to me? Yeah,
exactly. And they're not afraid to mention it either. Sami Zayn mentioned it right before they launched. Oh, let's talk about AEW. Remember that big controversial thing?
Right.
So I think this is a huge deal. It does prove Triple H right that they are open for business. And I'm excited about it. See what happens.
But what does that mean, open for business? What would that even look like? I know, like some people are saying, like, hey, this might be a little overblown or whatever. But it is a big deal because we've never seen an active member of a rival promotion being even mentioned on a WWE product or social media page or even interviewed for that matter. We're also seeing AEW's Twitter retweeting WWE Network of this news. Like, it's just like, what? What is going on here?
So I'm just wondering if there's thought at the top of my head. Do you remember a couple of years ago, probably longer, when the Four Horsemen were inducted into WWE Hall of Fame? Yeah. Ric Flair was signed talent of TNA. Right. So they worked out a deal to Ric Flair to appear on WWE programming. They're going to send them over Christian Cage to TNA, back to TNA for a week. Or show. I forgot what show it was. So I'm wondering, is there some sort of deal worked out here? Or is it just straight up Chris Jericho Austin deal? Is AEW involved in this at all? I'm sure they had to sign off on it, of course. But I wonder. Well,
apparently, Jericho hit up Tony Khan asking about, is this cool? And Tony Khan was giddy as anything, of course.
We talk about casual fans all the time. I'm sure there's still a segment of the population who does not know what AEW is. It's going to bring more eyes and ears to this product. Talking about Chris Jericho. Where's Chris Jericho? Where's Chris Jericho been? Let me find out. The casual fans are going to tune into WrestleMania, who are going to be drunk, half asleep. It goes right into this interview. Like, oh, Chris Jericho, what happened to him? Oh, AEW, what's this?
I just put the dates together, man. You're right. I mean, that's going to air right after WrestleMania. This is huge.
Yeah, it's great.
Opportunity for AEW right here. This is great marketing.
Great time to put new eyes in your product. This is again, I'd hate to repeat myself. Casual fans are gonna be like, "Oh, what happened to Chris Jericho?" Let me see, but they're gonna be promoting it throughout WrestleMania too. Stay tuned.
Right.
Broken Skull sessions with Chris Jericho. So this is a fantastic deal for AEW.
Yeah. Now, of course,
this is WWE is open for business.
This is speculating if they're even allowed to bring up AEW, but how do you not?
How do you not?
That's
That's the elephant in the room.
That's a huge elephant in the room. I mean, do they show footage even? Like what?
I don't think they'll go that far. They might show footage of, if anything, probably maybe the press conference where he announced or he signed. I don't think they're going to show like wrestling in-ring footage of AEW or Dynamite at all. But I'm excited to watch this one.
And where would that even lead to? I mean, obviously, I think that right off the bat, I think this opens the door even further for Chris Jericho to be in the Hall of Fame for WWE.
Maybe, yeah. They're open for business. They're
open
the first
for business.
Time.
But then what would open for business look like in this type of capacity? I mean, the possibilities would be endless, and it would be fucking cool to see, man, if they had some sort of crossover there. Even if it's with AEW and NXT, it would be ridiculous. I think everyone would win.
Everyone would win. Again, I don't talk about this last time. I just don't think, like, if W does involve themselves in this somehow, which I don't think is going to happen, never, they're not going to let some guy job out to some guy from AEW. They're going to want to win and control the storyline.
Exactly.
So
that's why
in-ring material thing works. I don't think it's going to be a thing, but like maybe interviews, appearances here and there, Hall of Fame, I think we'll do
right. That. That's why, they always say never, but I don't know, man. Like, I think it will be too good to be true. So that's why I'm saying I don't think that will ever happen, man. But as far as some sort of loose partnership, like how Impact, I forgot about that, how Impact or TNA at that time had with WWE, we probably could see something like that, like friendly competition, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. So, awesome. You got to crawl before you can walk. So let's see what happens. This is a good starting point. See what happens.
Sure. Well, Putty, that's all I have for the news. Do you have anything for me?
No. Let's get right into TV Takedown.
It's time for this week's TV Takedown.
All right, Marcus, let's get into some TV Takedown this week. Building out to WrestleMania. What do you have for me?
Well, actually, I do have two things. I feel like they're like 1A, 1B type of deal here. First off, I want to lead off, as you're talking about WrestleMania, what I saw on SmackDown. Edge, his promo work, commentary. I mean, I feel like he stole the show there. Like, I'm with him all the way with everything he's talking about. He's very believable. The passion is completely there. The thing is, like, is he a full-blown heel here? I mean, we talked about it last week a bit, but,
yeah. I think this is his coming out, yeah.
He talked about being a rated R superstar again, but like, I don't know, man. Like, I get where he's coming from, but at the same time, when you have this, I mean, Daniel Bryan's coming off very aggressive as well, and there's a lot of haters out there for him being just like feel like they've just been throwing in to the triple threat. I saw a lot of funny memes about that too. So it seems like some people may have even heat on Daniel Bryan. So like, who's the real heel here? Who's the real hero? What do you think?
Daniel Bryan's not coming off as a heel here. He's coming as a babyface. He's coming as underdog. I'm like, okay.
But so is Edge.
No, he. I think that was a very heelish promo he cut. He didn't act like a heel, and this promo tonight was like, all right, I guess he's a heel. He's definitely not a tweener anymore. He's definitely more towards the dark side than a tweener now.
But Daniel Bryan straight up attacked Edge for no reason.
It was his receipt from last week.
Daniel Bryan he started the whole thing.
Yeah,
with the running knee, with the chair shot.
Oh no,
I'm talking about like
but Edge came out on top of that. He attacked him unprovoked when he was down already. He attacked him with a chair. He didn't attack him with a chair.
He snapped. He said he snapped.
Yeah, and good guys don't snap.
What, Daniel Bryan didn't snap?
No.
See, what I find interesting about this is its perspective. They all have their motives here as far as why they're doing what they're doing. This is what I find very interesting because obviously, I mean, are his actions a little bit heelish? Yeah, possibly. But it seems like he does have people behind him still. Daniel Bryan, are people not liking what he's doing? Could they perceive him maybe being a heel in this? Absolutely. But then obviously you have people that support him that feel like that he should have won the Royal Rumble, that he should win the World Heavyweight Championship or the Universal Championship. it's very interesting what's going on here. Now, obviously, Roman Reigns is a very clear heel on this, but yet still loved. So
yeah, I think I mentioned it briefly last week. This is my favorite storyline going into Mania because everybody has their own component to it, and all three men are working well together.
Yeah,
I think this is the well done, well written, well performed by all three men, and this is a great storyline, one of the best ones going into Mania.
Oh, absolutely! They're performing on all cylinders here.
Like you just said, Edge cut that heelish promo, but like people still love Edge, and then Daniel Bryan's being a babyface, but people are anti-Daniel Bryan. It's just like everybody has their own little quadrants here, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, because they all have like their state to claim in this, like and what I find very interesting, all three of them have made a comeback. With Roman Reigns with his leukemia, Daniel Bryan with his neck / concussions, Edge obviously with his neck. So this is a big deal here. Like these are three guys that we didn't necessarily think that would ever come back to wrestling again. Yet here they are in the grandest stage of them all for the Universal Championship. So it's great all around from a personal level and to a creative level. This is kudos to all three men.
Yep,
I have to say. But then also my second takedown I want to talk about is actually AEW. We talked about earlier before about Tony Khan with his factions. But I gotta say, the pinnacle inner circle brawl that they had backstage, I thought was awesome. It was violent as all hell. You felt that the heat could have been real there. And I love Jericho's throwback line, "The worst is yet to come." I dug that. But people are saying that they feel like there are maybe too many factions in AEW. What do you think about that?
Before I started watching AEW, I heard that as a joke. Oh, AEW loves factions, so many factions. And then the more I'm watching it, it's not a joke, Mark. It's full of factions. And apparently there's a faction that broke up. I didn't know the Nightmare Family was a faction. And now they broke up, so there's two factions? Like, what is the other faction here? Is this the Cody Rhodes and his brother? And their students? I mean, I don't know what this new faction is. But now you have two new factions. Another heel faction on a show full of heel factions when you just had the Hardy family come out as a faction 2 weeks ago.
Right.
It's hard to, and you had the Team Taz. So many factions, Marcus. And I love factions. I'm a fan of factions. But even this is a little, what's going on here? I need a map.
I love factions, but here's the thing. All right, I kind of see what they're doing here.
One of my favorite part about factions is when they all come together, run a show, have every single title. Evolution, Undisputed Era. I just don't see that happening. All these fucking factions going around. So, too many to keep track of, Mark.
Well, here's my thing with this. Here's my little 2 cents. AEW, I mean, yes, they have AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation, but those are YouTube shows, right? They're not necessarily mainstream TV. There's no real storylines to go along in there. They just try to get young talent over. It's almost a little bit like developmental, almost like maybe like a practice section too. But it's not like a real show, if you will. They have the real prime show is AEW Dynamite, and it's only a 2-hour show, which I think 2 hours is more than enough. But then you have this big roster there, and how are you going to implement that whole roster? How are you going to get people get their shine and get their TV time? And the best way to do that is factions. Hey, in real life, listen, we're part of the wrestling world. We see it. There are cliques in the locker room. That's a real thing. It's very real. It's very rare when you see a lone wolf in the locker room. And so, I think AEW kind of plays up with that. I mean, hell, these guys are they're boys, they're girls, they're a brotherhood and a sisterhood all together, and they have their own separate factions. I'm fine with that. It's almost like, if you will, it's like, who you hang out with in the cafeteria when you go to high school. And that's kind of what I'm seeing. It maximizes everyone's TV time in those 2 hours, kind of like back in the day in the Attitude Era, back on Raw before SmackDown was a thing.
So you don't mind all these factions? You're okay with all these factions?
I don't mind it so much, man. What I hate, and I was watching SmackDown, what I hate is that every time on Raw or SmackDown, you just see a 6-man tag, just or 8-man tag, and just these two teams are just thrown together, right? And it just makes no sense. I'm not buying it. The action may be good, whatever, but I really don't have any skin in the game. I'm not really interested. But when you have actual factions teaming up against each other, I find it more interesting. Because, this is a team that works together. They know each other, and there's a rivalry going on. Okay, I want to see this. That's more cool to me. So I don't mind it. I think what could turn into a disaster here is if we had some like NWO, if there's one faction that's always on top and more people are growing part of that faction, and next thing you know, like half the roster is involved there. That's when you run a little trouble. Like Ministry of Darkness as well, or the Corporate Mystery, excuse me, was kind of running along the same lines. But here you just have so many different factions. It's not bad. You have all these stories that you can tell. So be it.
All right, great. Glass half full for you, Mark.
It's different. It's different because then on the other hand, you have WWE that seems like they shit on factions. The Hurt business definitely had more life to them, and they got split up, as we were just talking about.
Yeah, they seem to have diverted from factions, and started on this road to like 3-man teams.
Right.
Started with the Wyatt family, then it started with the Shield. Then you have these 3-man teams, and then there's no real I'm a big fan of factions. There's not too many anymore.
No.
Love to see a good old fashioned faction.
Yeah, let them have to run a bit. So those are my 2 takedowns, Putty. What are yours?
NXT is fantastic this week. What a freaking fantastic go home show. To stand and deliver. I started out with Roderick Strong versus Cameron Grimes. I am loving Cameron Grimes, by the way. I could watch him all day, all night. And then he had this great match with Roderick Strong. But the way Roderick Strong was reacting to this Undisputed Era T-shirts, how he's handling the breakup, I thought this is a new dynamic. We see factions break up all the time through our years, but we've never seen someone like heartbroken or don't know what to do when the faction ends. And he saw a T-shirt, you're distracted. He saw Cameron Grimes talking about it, he was distracted. He saw Cameron Grimes with the armband, he was distracted. You see he's really heartbroken and lost. Now I'm kind of buying into Roderick Strong here. Like, what's going to happen next? And he quit. He walked out. Great storytelling here.
I mean, that does bring up a good point. I mean, what is next for Roderick Strong? Like, you have Kyle O'Reilly. Obviously, it seems like he's going to be the guy when Adam Cole goes onto the main roster. That's at least what they're kind of building him to be. But Roderick Strong, I guess, is kind of like lost in the dust. Does his career then start floundering around? Since, it does tend to happen. You usually see someone, not handle a breakup of a faction too well. They get lost in the dust, and eventually they're released, and that's it.
That's what I was worried about. And when he came out, opening match against Cameron Grimes, who has a character who has this thing going on for him, I'm like, oh no, is Roderick Strong going to be like the Marty Jannetty here, but he just jobs out now, no character, no personality. But now there's some sort of characterness to him because now he's lost. What's the resolve here? What's the end point here? Now I'm just curious what happens next with Roderick Strong. And I'm surprised I said that because I'm like, really? Well done.
You know what Roderick Strong needs?
A guiding light?
I was about to say that.
There you go. And I know you're going to disagree with me. I know a lot of people will, but a lot of people won't. Because I say what a lot of people are thinking. But I was so excited, Mark. I'm a big fan of, since I first met him in the barbecue in Dallas for WrestleMania 32, King Corbin coming over from SmackDown. I said a couple weeks ago, he was stale. He's not doing anything. He needs a change. And now he's coming over to join alliances with Bobby Lashley and maybe get the bounty on Drew McIntyre. I thought I was so excited, Mark. I'm a big fan of King Corbin. I feel like he needs another breath of fresh air. And then now we're going against Drew McIntyre next week, and he's going to lose. So there goes my excitement, Mark.
I mean, yeah, he's just honestly. He's a pawn in this game.
I was so excited, but the king is now a pawn. Yeah, I was like, okay.
But touching on that, man, I have to say that match between Drew McIntyre and Ricochet caught my eye.
It did. Good for him.
Ricochet, great seller. He had some good offense in there as well. I actually kind of forgot how good he was, man, in the ring.
A lot of people do.
So
yeah.
I mean, he's not really getting showcased much. So, do you think he made the most of that spot, though?
Absolutely. I think Ali did too. Ali wasn't as good as the Ricochet match, but I think Ali did the best he could for that match too. Any TV time you can take, you got to shine, and these two guys did. And I just feel like Ricochet deserves better, man.
We shall see, man. I mean, I don't necessarily think he's going to get a spot in WrestleMania for this.
No.
Maybe he gets a spot in the Andre Giant Battle Royal.
You mean WrestleMania SmackDown?
Yeah, maybe he gets a spot in there, but I'm curious to see what happens in the next couple of Raws after this, because Ricochet definitely, even in the locker room when stepping up to Drew McIntyre, looks solid. Yep. It didn't necessarily look like he was lost in the dust or anything like that. I mean, the way he was selling in the ring reminded me a lot of Dolph Ziggler.
It's high praise.
And I think Dolph Ziggler is the best seller in the business right now. So, like, I'd like to see Ricochet get his shine more. Like, I don't necessarily know on what level, if he goes for, like, the mid-card title or even part of, like, a tag team or just, even a solid storyline, man. Like, the dude definitely deserves a little bit more than just being catering.
I wouldn't mind him going back to NXT and chasing for the Cruiserweight title either.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Leo Rush, too. Leo Rush was phenomenal in the ring. Every time I saw him live here in New York, he was just show stealer, and then look what happened to him. Don't want the same thing to happen to Ricochet, which is so far happening.
I think the problem is, though, it's just like WWE just they're hoarding talent, if you will. They're not having guys maximize their time on TV, and they have a lot of TV to cover. It's just for whatever reason, they're just not doing it.
Nope. And props to LA Knight for winning that Battle Royal in NXT. The way he won it, I think was really smart. I've never seen anybody win a Battle Royal like that before. Going through the middle ropes. I thought he was eliminated. Like, why would you go through the ropes, asshole? Oh, he went to the middle rope. Nice. Again, I'm on the LA Knight bandwagon.
Me too, man. Me too. He definitely, more and more, especially when I see him in the ring. I spoke about the first time when I saw his promo. I found it to be like Ric Flair-esque, like a modern-day version.
Mm-hmm.
When I see him in the ring, even with the red tights and everything,
Yeah.
the way he moves, I'm like, dude, I'm seeing so much of Flair here, man.
Say his name, Mark. You can do it. Say his name.
I'm not a Mark, dude. I'm not going to do it like that.
Yeah,
but
you are.
LA Knight,
You are.
my name is Mark, but it doesn't mean I am a Mark.
Yeah, for Charlotte Flair, you do it.
No, I wouldn't.
What a great episode of Impact, too. It was beginning to end, great storytelling. I thought Impact was one of the best solid shows. Is the ongoing storyline between Don Callis and Kenny Omega throughout the whole show. Fantastic.
Don Callis, man, he's so damn good at what he does. Even on AEW, when he had that moment with the Young Bucks, like he is like another version of Paul Heyman. He's just as good, I think.
I noticed on AEW they brought out the AAA championship that he has for the first time.
Yeah,
we did not see really Rich Swann on TV too much, so I don't know if he's still going to carry both belts, or he's just going to carry the one Impact championship. I'm assuming he's going to be carrying all four, so it looks better on screen carrying 4 belts than 3. But I'm excited about this one. It was an Impact, great show.
He's still going to be the collector, man.
Question for you, Marcus.
What's up?
You're always asking me a question. Let me ask you a question. Came out in the news this week. TNT was not happy about the debut of Sting. They are not in favor of surprise debuts.
Wow.
They feel it's better to promote a big name ahead of time. Hence why they announced Big Show ahead of time. Big Show didn't just show up. They announced Big Show is going to be on Dynamite next week. Because they don't want surprises. They want to be able to announce it ahead of time to draw people in. So now on one hand, if you know someone's debuting ahead of time, especially someone you want to see, we're going to make a point to tune in to watch it so we don't miss it. But I feel like on the other hand, surprise debuts are pretty fucking awesome. And it's like, oh my God, I think we're going to be missing out on surprise debuts. How do you land on this topic?
I love it when it's unannounced, man.
Me too.
Or,
right?
I think the best way how it was handled, dude, like one of the best debuts still to this day was Chris Jericho on WWE.
Oh, teaser. Okay.
Like those little teasers, those little mystery vignettes. Even how Jericho came back, those vignettes that were so mysterious. Remember when Jericho came back, didn't say a word? That was fantastic as well. Like it grabs your attention just enough to ask yourself, who could it be? Who could it be? Who can it be? Like what AEW did recently with Christian's debut was pretty good too. Like, there was a lot of speculation, made people want to watch.
That was a pay-per-view.
That was for a pay-per-view. You don't necessarily have to give it away like the Big Show. But I don't know, man. There's something like as far as like a big return or something like with Chris Statlander, we saw that. I mean, that was a pretty big return for AEW.
Yeah,
unannounced.
Big enough name. They're talking about big, huge names.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I just feel like this is like a weird take. I get where they're coming from. I just feel like this is a weird take for TNT, a huge network, to take on.
It's just like,
you guys don't need the ratings help. You guys are doing good, solid on Wednesday night ratings. It's just like
Here's the thing: like, if you miss a big surprise, right? That's your fault for not watching every week. That if anything, from that point on, it's like, well, I have to make sure to tune in every single week.
Dude, don't miss. Yeah, exactly. That's my thing too. Like, all right, I got to tune in and see what happens next.
But I think the strongest form you can do is just like these vague teasers, these vague vignettes, like kind of like what we're seeing right now with Taya Valkyrie with NXT. The speculation could be her, but I mean, it's going to be her.
I don't know how I feel about the name Frankie for her.
Well, rumor has it it's the dog.
That's my first thought.
I don't know.
I'm hoping it was the dog name was Frankie, but they trademarked Frankie something, first name, last name. So it's going to be her name. I'm like, all right, whatever. She's awesome. Can't wait to see her. That's all I got for TV, Mark.
Yeah, that's all I have to, man.
All right, Mark, time to get some go-home thoughts. What do you have for me this week?
Well, that play I've been talking about, the little dog laughed, play I've been working on, we have a date, Putty, April 25th, 6 o'clock Eastern time. We will be premiering our play, man. I can't wait for it.
Opposite Rebellion. Can't watch it.
Hey, Putty?
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
I'm just kidding, buddy. Just fucking relax. Why you're such an attitude tonight. What the fuck's your problem? Make sure you check out Mark, April 25th on The Big Cat Chuckled. Can't wait to watch it.
The big dog laughed.
That's what I said. I don't know what your fucking problem is. Mark, we're entering...
The little dog laughed. Well, you can mess up the name.
We're entering one of my favorite times of the year, Mark. Question, what's your favorite season? Christmas season or WrestleMania season?
WrestleMania.
Man, can't wait for this upcoming week, Mark. We got the 2 nights of NXT Stand and Deliver, the Hall of Fame, and then we got the 2 nights of WrestleMania. Can't wait, Mark. So excited. We've got a lot of good wrestling in the weeks ahead. And next week, we won't be coming to you Friday night. We're going to come to you a special episode live Monday night, 6:30 on Podbean. Check out our live, because we were going to go pull the curtain back live after Mania to get everyone's raw live reactions, but then we got upstaged by Chris Jericho. And who wants to compete with Chris Jericho? Because we both want to watch that.
Yeah, we want to watch this. It's not for you guys. We want to watch ourselves. So Tune in the Monday after Mania. We're going to lead up right into Monday Night Raw, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us with our whole reactions for WrestleMania the whole week, pretty much. We'll probably even talk about Jericho and Stone Cold, see what happens there. And you can join in on the fun, man. Can't wait.
2 of the biggest shows of the year are the After Mania shows, Raw and SmackDown. I think it's going to be one of our biggest shows. After Mania, Shot of Wrestling, Monday, April 12th, 6:30 p.m. on Podbean. Check out our social media, Shot of Wrestling, No A across the board for more details. Can't wait, Mark.
I love how you say no A across the board. Like, it's Shot of Wrestling. It's not a Shot of Wrestling anymore. We rebranded.
Well, the name of the show is a Shot of Wrestling, but our social media is we dropped the A.
I've literally never heard anyone call it a Shot of Wrestling anymore. It's called Shot of Wrestling.
Well, you don't pay attention when people talk to you. If it's not about you, you don't care. Right?
Sure. Really don't.
The Big Cat Chuckled? Hey, Mark. People can find you where?
You can find me at yourfavoriteactor.com. All my social media links are on there. Excuse me. It's late.
And where can they find this play?
Actually, the website is being developed as we speak. So more info on that.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Episode 250 episodes, Mark. That's fantastic. Amazing. Halfway through 500. So until after Mania, I've been your host, at Michael J. Putty. Putty out.
Hey, baby, I hear the bell ringing, hip tosses and body slams. Oh, my. And maybe you seem a bit confused. Yeah, baby, but I got you pinned. Ha, 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 ha. But I don't know what to do when I see them with that golden case. They're cashing it in. Authority all in my face. What is a man to do? Good night, everybody.